Oh Dark 30. Actually, in the military, because I'm a retired United States Army colonel, we say Oh Dark 30. What else am I? I'm a senior columnist for townhall.com. I am a noted Los Angeles trial lawyer, and I am the author of this. If you are watching on the Universe, I'm shaking it. I'm shaking it like a Polaroid picture. It is the new book from Regnery, The 21 Biggest Lies About Donald Trump and You. It is burning up the charts. It's number one with a bullet. It's not number one, but it's because that's Mary Trump's book. Right? My book comes out the week Mary Trump's book comes out. You know, this ne'er-do-well, like niece of Donald Trump. And she's like, well, I heard secondhand that Donald Trump's the Antichrist, demanding children be sacrificed to Moloch. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't think she actually said that. But I think if she could make money off it, I think she might very well say that. But you know what people are saying out there? Let's get to the rundown. Let's get to the news and information that you come to the Hugh Hewitt radio program to receive each morning. What's happening out there? Well, unbelievably, because I have this unique knack for walking in and guest hosting for the great Hugh Hewitt, only on days when all hell is breaking loose, where you got chaos and fire, and in the words of Bill Murray, dogs and cats living together. Today, it's a little chill, and I'm glad to hear that. I think we need a break, and frankly, I think a little break from some of the excitement works to the advantage of Donald Trump. And I'm a big supporter of Donald Trump because I believe that gropey old weirdo who lives in a basement is a huge danger to everything we believe in. Donald Trump believes that, too. Yeah. Donald Trump believes that. He did an interview with Chris Wallace. We're going to play a lot of cuts from that today, but I want to tee up with a little cut from that. Number 10.
The people, the radical left people that surround him will call. Religion will be gone. Okay, life, you could forget about that. The whole question of life. Supreme Court.
When you say life, you mean abortion?
Absolutely. 100%. That whole question, which is a very, it's always been a 50-50 thing. It's actually trending a little bit more toward one
when
side.
When you say religion is going to be gone, what does that mean?
Look at what they're doing to the churches. They won't let the churches even open if they want to stand in a field 6 feet apart. We've had churches that wanted to stand in fields 6 feet apart. There has never been an administration that's done so much as I have, from tax cuts to regulation cuts, to rebuilding the military, to getting choice for the vets. Nobody's done the things I've done. Nobody. In 3.5 years, no other president's been able to do what I've done.
Yeah, that's President Donald Trump with Fox's Chris Wallace this weekend. We'll be hearing a lot from that because there was a lot of great stuff in that. But one of the key things is the president was expressing his frustration with this whole pangolin pandemic panic nonsense that's been going on. No, I am not a COVID-19 truther. I believe it exists. I believe it is potentially dangerous to certain people in certain groups and not that dangerous to others, and that we need to have a reasonable and rational response to it. A reasonable and rational response does not include shutting down churches. And I got to say, and Hugh Hewitt knows Chief Justice John Roberts, personally knows him and personally respects him. And we exchange messages, offline because we're both noted lawyers. And I gotta say, I am less happy with John Roberts than Hugh Hewitt is. Particularly what I consider this horrible decision to treat religious gatherings like you might treat bowling games or barbershop quartets. He refused a challenge to a rule, and I believe it was a Torrance church, very near where I live, in the South Bay of Los Angeles, beautiful South Bay, and heart of enemy territory. Ted Lieu's district. God help me, please pray for me. The Supreme Court turned down a challenge to these unfair and obnoxious restrictions, saying, well, we got to treat religion like we treat everything else. What a terrible, terrible, terrible ruling by Chief Justice John Roberts. In fact, the Constitution tells us specifically how we should treat religion. We should allow its free exercise, period. There's no asterisk. There's no footnote. There's no qualification. Free exercise of religion. And if you want to get out there and risk COVID-19, go ahead and risk it. That's what I think. That's what the founders think. That's not what John Roberts thinks. The other big issue right now, schools. And I got to tell you, because I got my finger on the pulse of suburban America, right? I was at a gathering yesterday, a gathering of a number of people to celebrate an event. And these were suburban moms and dads. And what were they talking about? Well, normally in suburbia in California, you talk about your mortgage, right? And what your interest rate's going to be and how much your house is appreciating. That topic is off the table now. It's all about schools. Because apparently we're not going back to school. We are not going back to school in California, or at least in the big counties, at least till January. And this is huge. This is huge. Okay? And it's ridiculous. Kids do not, as a rule, die from this infection. Yes, there may be outliers, just like from normal flu. But kids are not the risk factor. Teachers, particularly teachers' unions, love the idea of not going back to work. I mean, that's the only thing I can account for it. Now, there are some older teachers or teachers with comorbidities or other problems who need to be taken care of. I get that. Everybody gets it. Nobody's saying, well, I don't care. You're old. You got diabetes. You weigh 500 pounds. Back into classroom. Breathe deeply as the children cough in your face. No one's talking about that. But, you know, to have these like 30-year-old teachers union people writing op-eds, they want to murder me. Trump wants to kill me by making me do my job. Ugh. I keep hearing how teachers are heroes. Time to start proving it. Okay? Cops do this every day. Nurses do this every day. The guy at Vaughn's does this every day. There are reasonable precautions we can take. We need to get kids into our classes. Okay? They need to be in classrooms. This half-baked distance learning stuff is nonsense for about 80% of kids. Yeah, there's about 20% of kids who thrive on it. Great! And I'm not against providing an option where the kid can watch on videotape if for some reason the kid has a risk factor. But the idea that we're just not going to do school essentially says we're giving up a year of our kids' life. Back in China, where people are dying by the score, you wouldn't know it because they don't report their numbers right. Well, nobody reports his numbers right. The numbers we're seeing are absolutely unreliable. It's a lot of it is nonsense. Okay, but back in China, those kids are back in class, and they're studying, and they're learning their STEM. They're not out here learning anti-American garbage like our kids do. Let me give you a cut from Donald Trump again on the anti-American garbage. Cut number 8, please.
I just look at school. I watch. I read. Look at the stuff. Now they want to change. 1492, Columbus discovered America. You know, we grew up. You grew up. We all did. That's what we learned. Now they want to make it the 1619 Project. Where did that come from? What does it represent? I don't even know.
It's slavery.
That's what they're saying, but they don't even know. They just want to make a change. Cancel culture. I hate the term, actually, but I use it.
But are they teaching
cancel
people
culture
to hate
Oh,
America?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Look at the professors. Look at what's going on in the colleges. If a conservative goes on a college, and look, we have as many as them. Excuse me. I think, to the best of my knowledge, we're sitting at the White House, and the Oval Office is right behind me. We have as many as them. But
Who's them?
the liberal, radical left, and I'm not talking all. I think liberal. I could tell you I like a lot of liberal people. I like a lot of liberal governors and senators. But Chris, we have a radical left destructive ideology, and it's being taught in our schools.
Okay. That's Donald Trump talking to Chris Wallace, and I think he's got his finger on it. Maybe I was wrong in my monologue. Maybe I was completely off base. Maybe we need to keep kids out of school because a lot of what they're being fed, force-fed, is pure garbage. Hey, this is the Hugh Hewitt radio program. I'm Kurt Schlichter. We will be right back. You stick around.